Good morning and welcome to Connect Church Community Online. We're glad that you're with us today. Let me sit down right here and let's share a word with you. We're going to be in Acts chapter 20, verses 28 through 30 this morning. So appreciate you being with us. First of all, when we start thinking about today, grievous wolves is what we want to talk about. Grievous wolves. We're going to find out, man, they're on the outside the church and they're inside the church. In the passage we see here in verse 28, it says, take heed to yourselves. Man, you need to be careful. You need to watch. You need to be alert, because things are happening, whether they're in the church, whether in your family or in your life. Take heed to yourselves. Not only do you take heed to yourselves, but as sheep, it says, take heed to the flock. Take heed to the flock. And then it goes on even a little farther here in verse 28. It says, feed the flock. Feed the flock. So when you say that, it's talking about here that we are to feed ourselves, get nutrients for ourselves. We need to take heed. We need to watch. We need to be alert because there's going to be wolves. We're sheep, and maybe you've heard about it, but there's a lot of wolves that like sheep, and that's where we get this passage here, kind of paralleling, telling us about it. Take heed to yourself. Take heed to the flock. Feed the flock. And then in verse 28, Paul is about to depart. He's not going to see them anymore, as we talked about in an earlier passage. But what's going to happen here, he says, now after I depart, something's going to happen. And you need to take heed to yourself, take heed to the flock, and feed the flock. I know after I depart, it says that there will be grievous wolves coming, okay? Careless, uncareful, not sparing. These wolves are, it don't matter who it is, they're going to eat without a plan, just destroy, just try to tear down and beat down. And so after I depart, grievous wolves. Now look here, when you talk about being grievous here, you can think of grievous meaning savage, fierce, wild or feral. Even the word rude could come in on that. And so you've got these grievous, savage, fierce, feral, rude, wild, okay? And then it says wolves. Now, it ain't actually wolves going to be let loose in the church. I haven't seen an actual animal wolf in there, but I have seen some people that act like wolves. And this wolves, when you look it up here in the Bible dictionary, it means seducers, imposters, betrayers, and deceivers. So they're going to come when there's not a leader, when there's not someone that is making a stand on the Word of God. This is what's going to happen. You've got to stay in the Word. You've got to stay true to the Word. You've got to work on these things. And he says, I know after I depart, these wolves are going to come in. He says, also in verse 30, of our own selves men will arise speaking perverse things. Man, and what are they going to do? Man, they're going to draw away disciples after them. They're going to distort the truth. And so when you're talking about this, you can put it in two categories. Wolves in sheep's clothing. Wolves in sheep's clothing bringing danger and destroying from outside of the church. Then you've got worldly sheep that are convincing to draw away disciples, distort the truth inside the church. So you got outside and inside. I mean, if you just want to look up the word grievous here, you've got in the Bible, grievous sin, grievous is like the plagues, flies, the rain, the hail, grievous locust, and on, grievous servitude, even a wound that's causing death, grievous burdens put upon us. So what do? Take heed. We see. We watch out. 2, we say. We warn. We've got to be ready. We've got to stay in the Word. Watch out, because grievous wolves are going to come after you. May God bless you. Thank you for listening to Connect Church today.